Every dog and you are at one moment together. Each mind is integrated into one, and that's the simplicity of it. And that is a very difficult thing to describe to someone.
Zero Kennel, Baker's Mills, New York, deep in the Adirondack Mountains, home for Harris and Ginger Dunlap, their family, and some of the world's fastest racing sled dogs.
There's a lot of interaction with the dogs, and it starts when they're very young. You start naming them, you start handling them, you start fondling them. Then they learn from a very early age that humans are a good thing, and this is constantly being reinforced when you handle them for working, racing, ordinary operations around a kennel.
For the Dunlaps, sled dog breeding and racing began in 1961. Silver, a very special husky brought back from Alaska in 1972, led to the development of Dunlap's champion stock.
Silver is a super dog. He's the foundation. The sled dog is a composite of several breeds of dogs infused back into the polar breeds. The kinds of dogs that we use in this are always working dogs, like on the one hand greyhounds and Salukis, and on the other Labradors and Retrievers. Silver would have been crossed back into the various strains of dogs that we developed using other breeds.
Dunlap Zero Kennel dogs are more than just ordinary sled dogs.
Come on, here we go. Come on. Good boy.
It's not the typical Sergeant Preston dog that you see with all the heavy fur. The dog was developed as a specialized athlete. The coat is a little shorter so that they can dissipate heat. The dog is a finer boned, lighter, weighs around 40 to 50 pounds, stands around 22 to 23 and a half inches. It's a medium-sized, lightweight dog that could be described as all muscle and bone. They love to run.
Twice a year, a large trailer truck labors up to Zero Kennel, bringing a supply of complete and balanced dog food.
The dog food was developed by Allen Products, better known as Alpo. We started work with this dog food pretty near 9 years ago, and it was made to fuel our dogs as they would run over trails that would be 20 to 30 miles in length.
High-protein nutrition from meat and meat byproducts is a key element in the health and performance of the dogs.
This dog food is designed to meet all of the everyday stresses that would beset the ordinary family dog. There's stress when your child steps on the dog's foot, when the dog is threatened by any of the normal environmental things, such as other dogs, automobiles, loud noises, constant traffic, being left home, recuperation in hospital situations. Our racing sled dogs were chosen because they would exemplify an increased degree of stress.
Harris, how's she been going since she's been on that?
Dr. David Kronfeld visits Zero Kennel about 6 times a year under a research agreement between the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine and the Alpo Center for Advanced Pet Study.
The psychic, emotional component of a race, just as the psychic or emotional component of showing, will bring about a stress reaction in the dogs. And all of this will tend to depress the dog's red blood cells. And we found that the red blood cells in the dogs related to the dietary protein content. This has to be much higher to keep the red blood cells up than is even needed for growth or for gestation. We find that we need about 30% protein in the dog's diet in order to keep the red blood cell counts up. We get the protein in the diet up by feeding meat and meat byproducts. They become the cornerstone of the diet.
Yeah, she feels really good.
Keeping the dogs in racing trim means long days of hard work. In the summer, they begin very early when it's still cool enough for daily training.
The training really goes on year-round. One season runs into another, and then you continue on again. And it starts with breeding, and then training the young stock, and then beginning the conditioning of the older stock and first-year dogs, then right through the racing and all of the work that goes into maintaining the team at that time, and then clean on around into spring where we're back to the breeding and the sorting out of the young stock for the following year.
Now it is winter. Dunlap's best dogs will compete each weekend for the next 4 months. They will enter as many as 16 races and travel 20,000 miles to compete in events all across North America.
Racing began formally at the turn of the century in Nome. And of course, man had been racing for a long time. The number of participants that are involved in the sled dog racing game today is around 5,000, and there's probably over double that use dogs. The season usually goes from January to April, and in the northern climes, we can race longer. It's now governed by the International Sled Dog Racing Association in 11 countries. When we arrived, we would get out our equipment. This would include the lines, harnesses, sleds, and we would put the chains around the truck. These would be the tethering points for the animals when we drop them for exercise and stretching and eliminating.
There is a precise procedure before the race. Most of it focuses on last-minute mental conditioning of the dogs before the demanding test ahead.
We begin the concentration on the dogs, the interaction with the dogs. Almost like a pep rally. We would be rubbing them and talking with them and getting them to feel like, they were about to be worked as a unit. And that camaraderie that goes on amongst the teammates, I think you can explain it the same way with the dogs.
For Harris Dunlap, wife Ginger is more than a partner. She's a winning sled dog racer in her own right.
She has an equally as strong rapport, but different, with the dogs. And as such, she communicates to me elements that I might miss.
Now entering the chute, ladies and gentlemen, wearing bib number 9 is Harris Dunlap, Baker's Mills, New York, a local boy and a gold medal winner and a previous defending champion of
The dogs are such a phenomenal animal that they humble me, and I like that feeling. I like learning from somebody else or something else than human beings. They have insights that I don't have.
And as they head for the starting line, Ginger describes her husband's role at this moment and in the race to come.
She's like a coach or an orchestrator. You're working with 16 different minds and 16 times 4 different feet and legs that could have problems. They're very much like people. If they are not up for the event, you won't get what you want out of them. So you need to put all of that together and have such a rapport with those animals that you will get the top performance out of them.
1, go driver!
And when you're talking a sled dog team, you're talking 80 feet of dog and man. Envision twisting through this trail and this kind of a challenge coming on you, going anywhere from 19 to 23 miles an hour for maybe up to 25 miles. That's a long time to sustain your thrill level. When you think about you've had a hand in breeding the animal, and then you've taught it the skills, and you've directed when and where and what it's going to do in terms of racing. And then you've decided where it best fits in the team. And then you've got all of these elements working together. That is certainly a part of the total exhilaration. When we're very successful, we all work as one. Our minds are together. They feel the whole ambience of the moment, and they know when they're successful.
Anything can happen in a race, and it does happen to Harris Dunlap. His lead dog is not performing well. Precious minutes are lost making changes.
Here we go. Here we go. Good boy.
That's a poo. Good boy. Good boy. Hey, get some little confused up here, are you? Huh? Yeah, what do you say? Okay, Bob, you're gonna have to put on the old speed for us here.
Well, it's disappointing not to be able to manage the dogs to their potential. It's one thing not having the team and then those things happening to you that don't make it any better for you. But when you have the recruits, you know, the individuals, the good athletes, and then these circumstances befall you, that makes it more difficult to take because you have the potential there of being much greater.
All right. 4 minutes on, I'm leaving.
In one of the major races of the 1982 season, the $25,000 Alpo International Sled Dog Championships in Saranac Lake, New York, Harris Dunlap comes in 6th place. But Ginger always sees the brighter side.
I think he's got a great deal of depth, a great deal of expertise, and you just don't fall down in one weekend. It didn't work for one weekend, so there's a way that it will work for the next weekend. Or maybe if it's not the next weekend, it'll be soon.
She's your number one fan. She's the one that never sees a loss, only always sees the element of success in whatever happens.
Harris and Ginger Dunlap race professionally for the sport and breed champion sled dogs for a living. But out of it also has come a greater prize.
If you win all the time, then you have a tendency to believe that you're invincible. I think that you should always recognize that there always will be someone that can do it better than you can do it. I've been on both sides of it, back and forth over a long period of time, and I found that there's a lot to be learned from this kind of a living.
For Dunlap, the race at Saranac Lake was the low point of 1982. He had no place to go but up. And he did. After that, it was a steady stream of victories in the East, then on to Alaska, where he won the North American Open Championship sled dog race. It was the year he would once again become the International Sled Dog Racing Association's gold medal winner. Dunlap's beloved dog team also helped deliver another prize, the sport's premier distinction, World Champion Sled Dog Racer.